Should you spend your money and time networking, or should you make content? Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur, and this is a question that I get all the time, and it was actually a great conversation that I had with my buddy Jonathan a couple videos back. He's an insurance specialist, and we were talking about the pros and cons of really networking versus whether or not you should be making content. And here's the pros and cons of it. I'm going to lay everything out, and ultimately, at the end of the day, I want you to decide. Now, paid networking is a phenomenal platform, and I've done it for quite a while. I've joined Le Tip, I've joined BNI, I've attended some pretty fancy dinners, happy hours, cocktail parties, whatever it might be. I've attended a vast majority, not everything, but a vast majority of them. And then on the flip side of things, I've also started now making YouTube videos. So now I'm 200 videos in. I have about 200 blogs on my personal website, and then I have about 80 or so on the business website. So what's better? What gets in front of more people? And ultimately, should you do it? Well, I think a couple things that you need to consider is, one, there's a massive time commitment to both of these options, right? So it's content creation or networking. Networking is a little bit different because where I lived on Long Island, most events would usually take place about 30 minutes away. It was rare that events happened right around where I lived. Most of the time they were in Nassau County. I lived in Suffolk County, and it was about a half hour to 45 minutes away. Now, some of the things that you don't consider is the prep time to get ready for them, the financial commitment you're going to make. Some of these events might be a couple $1,000s for the year. Some of them might be a couple $1,000s for the evening, right? But here's the catch. The events that are a couple $1,000s for the year, right, Le Tip, BNI, those are great. However, the barrier to entry is pretty low. Now, I understand that some of you may be starting a business, but quite honestly, a couple $1,000s for the year is really not much money to meet a ton of new people, and people that you might do business with. You have them in a room, you can physically see, you can talk to them. Whereas on the flip side of things, you have these ultra high-end events where they could be several $1,000s for an evening or even several $100s for an evening, drastically exceeding the cost of maybe a year-long networking room. So why would you want to be in there? Well, think about it, right? If there's a dinner that's $2,500, who can afford to go to that dinner? Only pretty wealthy people. Those pretty wealthy people typically either have a really successful business, or if they're a salesperson, a really successful sales portfolio that gives them the ability to attend these dinners. They're getting in front of potentially people that they want to do direct business with. And that's kind of the well-known gist of it. Everybody there has spent a lot of money to get there. Now it's up to you to go network and close those people. Gradually, you're going to make steps and take the necessary acts to get to that point. But either way, it's a large prep time commitment. You got to get ready. You got to drive to that location. You got to go to the meeting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. It could be some of these events are all-day events. You come hang out for as long as you want, and then you leave. Or, and then you got to drive home. Then you got to get undressed, and then you're out for a couple $100 or a couple $1,000s at the end of it. But who did you meet? How did you meet them? Are you going to follow up with them, right? Is it just to show face? Some people, they're there to just show face. Other people are there specifically to try to find people that they want to do business with. Now you have the flip side of things, content creation, right? Keep in mind too, depending on how long that event is, you might only talk to 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 people at most. And how many good conversations can you have if you meet 30 people over the course of 3 or 4 hours, right? Now, you have the flip side of things. You have content, which is the route that I go down for the most part. The content route is very different. The content route is making videos, making content that appeals to a target market. So my target market is entrepreneurs. My goal is to help them start their businesses, or if they've already started their business, to get them to grow and become more and more successful and learn all the things that I wish somebody told me when I first started my business. Now, here's the best part. You might only speak to 30 people in that networking event, but on the flip side of things, you have better yet, videos, like one of my videos is over a year old at this point, and it's getting 50 plus views per 48 hours, and it's gotten about 3,700 views over the course of its lifetime. That's a tremendous amount of people and viewers. That's a tremendous amount of watch time that's been associated with that video, and that video consistently works for me over and over and over again. So there's benefits to that, and that video really only took me about 2 hours to make. So in the course of an event that might be 3 or 4 hours long, plus you got to get ready and drive there, it could be 4 or 5 hours to go to these events, whereas 5 hours, I could probably make 5 YouTube videos with the chances of one of them hitting thousands of people and working for me forever. But you got to keep in mind, One group, you have people that are ready to buy or interested in helping you grow your business or are really hard people to get a hold of. They might not ever go on YouTube to find you, and you have to figure out how to leverage those people to get the best possible bang for your buck, meet those people, maybe make those connections. Whereas on the flip side of things, you have content creation, right, where you can reach thousands, if not millions of people online, but then you have the, hey, who's actually buying, right? I mean, I do have a free Facebook group down below, right? I'm going to capture your email, and I'm probably going to send you a million good emails that provide crazy value and help you grow your business. But at the end of the day, just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean you're going to find buyers. It takes a long time to not only build a following, but to build more and more content, to constantly be, I don't want to say pitching products, but inviting people to things like my free Facebook group, checking us out online. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't say I've already had people reach out to me, and thank you to those people that either wanted to do business or are interested in doing business, or wanted to pick my brain so they can grow their business and then ultimately do business with me, right? There's pros and cons to both sides, because the people that are attending $1,000 or $2,500 dinner are probably not going to be on YouTube ever, and that's okay. But then you also have the flip side of things where you have this content that can work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but it takes a long time to get started. But once it does, right, you've seen a lot of these really famous people. You will use Grant Cardone, right? Grant Cardone can reach millions of people because he's been consistently building and building and building and building, where now he's the main person at a dinner because of social media, right? He's no different than most other people, but because he has such a larger reach than pretty much anybody else, it makes it almost impossible for people to go up against him, right? Because he just has this fame and fortune around him. Now, is he the real deal? That's for you to decide. I'm not going to tell you whether or not he is or he isn't. But then you have the flip side of things where you can get in front of 10, 20, 30 people that could spend millions of dollars with you, that can do business with you today. So it's this checks and balances, pros and cons. What's better? Is it better to go spend money on networking? Is it better to go spend money and build content? Another thing that you have to consider too is, what space are you in? So when I say space, I mean your business. What is your business? Who are you going to these dinners with? The catch with these dinners is it could be highly untargeted, right? You might have 30, 40, 50 people. It's rare to get a lot of people in one specific area. So if I wanted to meet IT companies, right, for my agency, well, that's good, but here's the catch. Maybe they're not all in that same room. And if they are, I have to pay even more money to be able to speak to these people or sit down with dinner with these people. And the likelihood of maybe I don't own an IT company of me getting in there is much more difficult. Whereas content, if I make content towards my ideal target market, right, at some point or another, they're going to hit Google or they're going to go watch a YouTube video to find the answers to their problems. So it's a different attack strategy. This one works for you 24 hours a day. This one makes money for you right away, or can make money for you right away. And you have to really weigh the pros and cons, because if you need money today, then maybe networking and going to these really fancy events is a great way to get your foot in the door. But you have to also be wary of, are you good at networking? Are you good at closing people? Are you good at telling people why they should work with you or why they might want to work with you, and educating people on what you do, versus being able to make those videos at home over and over, or at your office or your studio over and over and over again, that shows and teaches and educates people. And then, hey, by the way, there's a call to action down below, right? It could be a free Facebook group, it could be a mailing list, it could be a free giveaway, anything like that, right? That those can always be down in the links below, and those videos will work for you over time. Now, the way I look at it, and I'm going to give you my personal take on it, is this is the faster route of more success. It's just how it is. You can go there, you can meet people, you can network, you can potentially walk away with business in the next week or two. Whereas content creation, it's a much longer term game. If you're blogging, it's going to take at least 7, 8, 9 months. By the way, I apologize. My dogs are hanging out with me outside here. And it's a slower process. It's a much slower process. But over time, you can hit significantly more people. You get into that 100,000, not even, maybe 10,000 followers, right? If you get into 10,000 followers, some of your videos might have the chance of hitting millions of people. One video that hits millions of people will probably bring you a lot more business than one night of networking. So it's just pros and cons. You have to figure it out. And maybe for many people like myself, it's a combination of both, or it was for a long time. Now I'm making more content than ever, right? But in the beginning, doing both is probably a good thing. You're building, those network connections, those people that will spend money with you and help you grow your business right away. And then on the flip side of things, you also have that content creation that's going to start working for you in the background over and over and over and over again. These are the pros and cons of both. What you choose to do with them, please, I'm very curious to know if you've had better success with one versus the other. Leave a comment down below. This is where I really value the community that I've started to build here and your insights on it. Do you find networking better, or do you find content creation better? If I missed a reason, let me know. I'm super curious to know, but this is the way I look at it is I can make content that's going to hit a lot more people and gives me the ability to have most of my customers 700 plus miles away, which is insane to think about. And in the beginning parts of my career, all I did was network, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite things to do. I loved going to dinners. I loved meeting people. I was really good at interacting and following up and doing business with people and really just being involved. And the more you go to these events, the more people are like, hey, oh, you know Harrison? Oh, hey, come on. Like, he's got a great product. He's such a good guy. You know, you got to check him out. He does a great job. Oh, he does this for this guy. He's such a great guy. Whereas on the, you have the content creation part where I can show you what I do. I can actually literally tell you what I do, right? I'm making content to educate people and ultimately get them in a free Facebook group. Then I can help them grow even further, right? That's the goal of this, right? Now, am I going to pitch you anything? No, but I'm going to tell you guys what I do and how to do it, and you're going to get way better access to my brain and how to grow your business faster than most other people, right? And that's the benefit of content creation. I can have videos that are working for me, right? I just hit the 16 or 17,000 view mark. That's 17,000 people I was able to help, whereas maybe I was able to speak to 20 or 30 at one networking event. Now, granted, I've been to multiple events and I've spoken to hundreds of people over that period of time, but for me, now, it's more about content creation, especially in the space that I'm in. I can speak to more people. I'm way more comfortable on camera. You also have to think about what you're comfortable with. Are you comfortable with meeting people, or are you more comfortable with making stuff online? This is definitely something to consider, right?